Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m. Thursday, April 28th, and we are located at the auditorium of the Olentangy High School. And with that, and it's a regular business meeting, with that, we'll call the meeting to order. And Mr. Curran, can you please roll call?
Mr. Parks?
Here.
Mrs. Diesel?
Here.
Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Mrs. Patrick?
Here.
Here. Thank you. Would you all please stand and join me in the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our very important recognition of Olentangy students will be our first. Oh, thank you. We need to approve the agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion about the agenda? Please take the lead roll.
Mrs. Diesel?
Here. Yes.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes. Yes, thank you. After our presentation at the stage here, we will have the rest of our business meeting in the school's library here. So with that, we will begin our recognition of students.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight's meeting is a special one for us because the evening we as a board get to recognize the students and staff members for their outstanding achievements in co-curricular, extracurricular, and athletic activities. Many athletic and academic competitions are scheduled for later this spring, so we will recognize those accomplishments at a separate board meeting in June. This year we had more than 170 students, coaches, and advisors achieve outstanding accomplishments. We will congratulate more than 100 of these individuals this evening. As I announce your name, please walk up to receive your award and have your photo taken with Board President Dave King and Superintendent Mark Grafe. As you see, there's a twist this year. You get to shake the hands of all the board members, but me, because it'll throw me off my script. These photos will be delivered to you through your school the next few weeks. We're going to begin with music. Olentangy is home to amazing musicians, and the board is pleased to recognize many of them this evening. We are proud of the vocalists and musicians earning state-level honors over the past year. I promise to do my best on all of your names. I hope. We're going to begin with Victoria Anderson, All-State Choir and OMEA National Choir. Katrina Carrico, All-State Orchestra. Dominic Fleshman, All-State Choir. Kelly Jimbara, All-State Orchestra. Melissa Gu, All-State Orchestra. Rachel Hawk, All-State Choir. Adam Hiltz, All-State Orchestra. Olivia Johnson, All-State Choir. Colin Kelly, All-State Orchestra. Aditya Sriram, All-State Orchestra. students are led by amazing directors. The board would like to recognize and congratulate Director Michelle Beck, representing the Olentangy High School Chamber, Concert, and Prelude Orchestras, which earned superior ratings at the state competition. The board would also like to recognize Director Lori Cornett for representing Orange High School Sinfonia Orchestra, which earned a superior rating at the state competition. You know, we'll wait for you. It's all right. You have to have a picture. We would also like to congratulate Director Jill Bixler, who could not be here tonight, representing Liberty High School Chamber, Concert, Prelude, and Symphony Orchestras, each of which earned superior ratings at the state competition. Accepting on her behalf tonight is Colin Kelly. Colin, are you here? Visual arts. Our district is fortunate to have some very talented artists in our midst. The following students were selected to participate in the Ohio Governor's Youth Art Exhibition. Allison Bell. Rachel Deskins. Lauren Householder. Cecilia Coe. Varnika Patel. We will have her flag for her. Slight snap. Sydney Perry. Katie Rice. Sarthuk Shaw. Meredith Shook. The following students were selected as National Scholastic Art Award exhibitors. Khalees Brogdon, Silver and Gold Key Award winner. No Khalees. Colin Emhoff, Gold Key Award winner. Clayton Jackson, Gold Key Award winner. Justin Kirky, Gold Key Award winner. Kim Twen Nguyen, Regional Honorable Mention. Ellie Yax, Silver and Gold Key Award winner and Honorable Mention. Please help us congratulate the following students that were selected as OCC West Blizzard Visual Arts Invitational Exhibitors. Hallie Breyer. Parker Tobolin. Three students were selected as Ohio Governor's Youth Art and National Scholastic Art Award exhibitors. Amanda Ba, Regional Silver Key Award, Regional Gold Key Award, and Regional Honorable Mention. Michaela Heffelfinger, American Visions Award. Anna Pratafil, Silver Key Award. The board would also like to congratulate Sadie Bonker, who was selected as an OCC West Blizzard Visual Arts Invitational and Ohio Governor's Youth Art Exhibitor. DECA. The Olentangy schools have historically supported a very strong DECA program. Over the past 20 years, district students have been leaders at the state and national level in DECA competition, as well as in fundraising for the MDA, Honor Flight, Wounded Warrior Project, and Make-A-Wish Foundations, as well as others. This evening, we are recognizing students who competed at the state level. Congratulations to the following DECA students who placed in the state top 10 for their projects and our national competitors. George Christie. Patrick Dirksmeyer. Matthew Donahue. Madeline Edwards. Jonathan Finn. Abby Polacek. Ryan Kivett. Claire Lynn. John Mace. Bryn Mountjoy. Michael Musilli. Joseph Paulo. Neil Patel. Megan Piero. Elizabeth Radkiewicz. Rushi Shalut. Andrew Slauson. Stephanie Stile. Shivani Subaraja. Working on it. Lauren Waldrop. Ben Weber. Kenna Worcester. Listen. Garrett Yant. Riley Zamilski. Finalists congratulate the Orange High School's Daniela Kua, who participated in the state DECA competition. Congratulations to our DECA advisors for the accomplishments of their outstanding students. Another area in which our high schools excel is journalism. We would like to recognize the Orange High School Bronze Bayonet Yearbook for receiving an All-Ohio rating by the Ohio Scholastic Media Association. This top rating in the state has not been achieved by any yearbook since 2010. Congratulations to advisor Carrie Phillips and her students. Carrie was unable to join us this evening, so Nancy Lucas is accepting this award on her behalf. We'll accept it on her behalf. Join me in congratulating the following student journalists who received the OCC All Academic League in Journalism Award. The board is pleased to honor Casey Bonner, Elena Koscheck, Bryn Pride, Carly Broom, we now turn to recognizing our phenomenal student athletes. Many students have received individual state-level honors in their sport. The board congratulates the following students. Madeline Barnes, state pole vault qualifier. Emma Bauer, all-state girls cross country. Connor Brady, state wrestling qualifier, 4th place. Allie Braun, state swimming qualifier, 8th place. Anna Delaney, state doubles runner-up, 2nd team All-State girls tennis. Serena Deering, 2nd team All-State soccer. Zach Furness, state wrestling qualifier. Olivia Golmar, state swimming qualifier. Xander Gore, state wrestling qualifier. Trey Grenier, state wrestling qualifier, 3rd place. Grace Horstman, qualifier. Ben Berger, state swimming qualifier. Winston Berger, state swimming qualifier. Kyle Lawson, state champion, wrestling. Trevor Lawson, state wrestling qualifier, second place. Claire Lynn, all-state girls cross country. James Loftus, state swimming qualifier. Emily Mata, state cross country qualifier. Bracken Mead, state wrestling qualifier, third place. Stephanie Miller, state gymnastics qualifier. Emma Morgan, state gymnastics qualifier. Ellie, Nebraska, state swimming qualifier, sixth place. Abby Newman, state swimming qualifier. Abby Noonan, state swimming qualifier, eighth place. Bridget Parker, state swimming qualifier. Rachel Baroni, state swimming qualifier, fifth place medley, eighth place relay. Tyler Pham, state second team all-state soccer. Megan Piero, state cross-country qualifier. Trey Rath, second team all-state boys golf. Jordan Rosselli, state wrestling qualifier. Jack Soswa, state swimming qualifier, sixth place. Turner Shade, state swimming qualifier. Gracie Sprankle, all-state girls cross country. Carrie Stadoulis, first team all-state field hockey. Alexis Steer, state doubles runner-up girls tennis, second team all-state girls tennis. Siobhan Sorensis, state pole vault qualifier. Cameron Thatcher, state champion diving. Connor Thomas, state wrestling qualifier. Brendan White, first team all-state football. Sorry folks, so late around. Yes. Both of them. Wow, Amanda Bob, lots of awards. Regional Silver Key Award, Regional Gold Key Award, and Regional Honorable Mention. Our student athletes are led by fantastic coaches and mentors. Many have received team and coaching honors this year. From Olentangy High School, join me in congratulating Coach Misty Lloyd Matthews. Olentangy High School gymnastics team won the OCC championship, were district runners-up, and competed in the state competition. Coach Tara Mays, Olentangy High School cheerleading team won the OCC championship. Coach Michelle Mimna led the Olentangy High School girls volleyball team to an OCC championship and a district runner-up. Girls basketball coach John Fiesel was named OCC Capital Division Coach of the Year and led the Olentangy High School girls basketball team to an OCC championship and District 1 runner-up title. And he brought his fans. That's important. From Liberty High School, award-winning teams and coaches are Coach Daryl DeWeese led the Liberty High School girls cross-country team to a district championship and state runner-up title. Megan Caldwell was at the helm when the Liberty High School tennis team won an OCC championship. She was also named OCC Coach of the Year. Coach Sam Crafty led the Liberty High School girls basketball team to an OCC championship and was named Coach of the Year. Coach Mark Marinelli's Liberty High School wrestling team was OCC champion, district champion, and placed third in the state in Division I competition this year. Coach Kristen McMahon and the Liberty High School girls soccer team were OCC champions, district champions, regional champions, and competed in the state Final Four. Coach Linda Rodolfo led the Liberty High School boys and girls bowling teams to OCC championships. Coach Ryan Snively led the Liberty High School boys golf team to an OCC championship and a 5th place finish in state competition. Orange High School's successful athletic seasons were highlighted by the following accomplishments. Coach Anthony Kalo led the Orange High School boys basketball team to an OCC championship, and Coach Kalo was named OCC Coach of the Year. Coach Kari DeAngelis led the Orange High School girls golf team to a 5th place finish this year in the state competition. Coach Katie Dewey led the Orange High School girls volleyball team to an OCC championship. Coach Jen White led the Orange High School diving team to state competition. On behalf of the entire board, I would once again like to congratulate the many outstanding students, coaches, and advisors recognized this evening. We are very proud of your accomplishments.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
course, you're welcome to join us for the rest of the meeting in the library if you choose to do so. So with that, we will adjourn to the library. Good evening, everyone, again. We are now in the library of the Olentangy High School for the rest of our business meeting. And just to point out that item 5 on the agenda is the presence report. Obviously, that time is devoted to the recognition of our Olentangy students from all of our schools. And a wonderful evening, great attendance. Thank you, Roger. Nice job with introducing the students and coaches.
My pleasure.
So, item 6, superintendent's report. If you go, please.
All right. Well, again, good evening. Thank you all for being here. That was a very good job, Mr. Bartz, on those names. I read names at graduation, so I know the challenge. It's pressure-filled. I won't let you know the ones you messed up on. So.
Oh, it's probably numerous. That's okay. It'll be in the paper.
Okay, so starting off with good things as usual. The current rankings of our high schools recently came out. Typically, there are 3 rankings: U.S. News and World Report, the Washington Post, and Newsweek magazine. So we're waiting for Newsweek's report to come out. Once again, we did very well in Central Ohio and in the state and the nation. So all of our schools, those national rankings are the top 2%, 2.5%, James? 2%. So we're very proud of the achievement of the high schools in those rankings. You know, and those are a culmination of everything that's happening K through 12. So it's just a great honor to be recognized by those publications. I do think those are the highest rankings we've had in the publications. Over the last 2 weekends, our district held their annual spring arts festivals. I had a chance to get to those, but you know, the talent of our artists is just simply amazing. I'm so impressed when I see, especially some of the paintings that you look at, they look like photographs. It's just always a great time to be at the district art festivals. All 3 of our high schools held their spring signing days. As you know, the February is the Division 1 signing period is designated for primarily for football, but here in the spring, other student athletes are announcing their selection. So we have a long list of athletes from all 3 of our schools: Olentangy, there's the Liberty Crew, and finally the athletes that are moving on to play college athletics from Orange High School. So congratulations to all the student athletes and for accepting the challenge to continue their athletic careers. So we have a number of discussion items tonight. We're leading off with Mr. Wright, answering any questions on our student and athletic handbooks. The next 2 will be Jack with the second reading of the board policy updates, and then Brian's first reading of our 5-year financial forecast. So it's always a good presentation. And then Mr. Meyer is going to walk us through the intent to rehire our guidance counselor, Ron Waterwash from Liberty High School. So this fulfills our requirement to have a public discussion on that topic. So, and then we also have a presentation from representatives from OSU Western Medical Center and their athletic training services and strength and conditioning services. So that'll be our final discussion item. Some agenda items of note. We have 2 new administrators coming on. Lauren Heitkamp is replacing Melanie Andrews as the supervisor for gifted services, and Mary Jones is a replacement for supervisor who's leaving the department. So those are 2 new administrators coming on board. We have a long list of certified and classified renewals, which is just our typical process of every year. People that are at the end of their 2, 3, 5-year contracts and some continuing contracts for teachers, and the same thing, the 2, 3-year contracts for classified employees. Certainly an item of note there is that your approval of the 1,230 graduating seniors from all 3 of our schools. It's our largest class once again, so we're very honored to be moving them on in their endeavors. So then we have board policy updates for approval, athletic handbooks, student fees are on the agenda also for approval. So we are couple, two contracts for approval, our pre-service and pre-construction contract with Gilbane, and then the approval to enter into a contract with Ohio State Western Medical Center for Strength and Conditioning Services. So, just a couple other important dates of note coming up. All three of our high schools will have their senior awards presentations. Liberty and Orange are on the same date, and then Olentangy is obviously May 5th there. That's a great night to honor our seniors. Watch them get a great deal of money in college scholarships and hear about where they're moving on to pursue their academic careers. And then our graduation ceremony, May 15th, Celeste and a very exciting day, very exciting, long day. A lot of handshaking, picturesque, a lot of standing. So, and then our Board of Education business session at the end of May. Before I conclude, I just want to read a brief statement for you regarding continued coverage of teacher misconduct by the media. So as you know, there's going to be a story airing on 10 TV this evening on state requirements for reporting teacher misconduct. This story will refer to Olentangy and a former teacher. The former teacher worked very hard to get around the many safeguards we have in place to protect our students. We received no prior complaints of a criminal nature about this teacher. He hid his actions from us and was 100% responsible for what he did. As you are aware, because you are briefed every time there is a teacher misconduct issue, we follow stringent reporting practices that go above and beyond what is required by state law. This includes immediate reporting to children's service agencies, law enforcement, and Ohio Department of Education. In addition, because the state process can be slow and cumbersome, we also take immediate action ourselves when we learn of a problem with a staff member. This allows us to act more quickly than state agencies did. So, I just wanted to make you and our public aware that this report is out there, and that again, we are going to continue to do everything possible to keep our kids safe. Questions? Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Kirk, Treasurer's Report.
Yes, this evening, I won't get too much detail because we're going to have to talk about the 5-year forecast this evening. But just on some treasurer action items, we'll include the financials from March and donations to the district along with appropriations. Talking about donations, we did get a $19,000 for some infield expansion, fencing, and dugouts from OIA and State's travel program to Shanahan Middle School site, and picnic table, memorial picnic table at Walnut Creek from the teachers and the staff. So we really appreciate those, as we do appreciate all donations from our groups, boosters, PTOs, staff in this case, and other outside organizations to the district. On another note, last Monday, thanks again for Julie and the School Advocacy Committee setting up Mr. Howard Fleeter coming in and Jay, who's very correct, from OSBA to talk about state funding. Mr. Fleeter's statewide and known economist and consultant. He knows a lot about state funding, and I think it was a really eye-opening experience for the members that showed up that evening. And then also last evening, we also had our finance and audit committee meeting on the forecast. So we're thankful for our volunteers, our board committees, our superintendents committees for dedicating their time and their expertise to help us out. So.
Okay, thank you. And then do we have any people signed up for public participation for general comments?
None for general comments.
And we can begin our discussion items, so let's start with Mr. Wright, please.
Good evening, everyone. You have summaries of our handbook changes in your supporting documentations. You also have the exhibits, the full 4 handbooks that we're asking you to approve tonight. I want to quickly just talk about the summaries or the highlights of the handbooks, and this is kind of across all 3 levels. A lot of things we clear out, but we're changing some of our technology, so a lot of replacement language there. We had a change to our ALE policy. We wanted to make it a little more flexible for our families. We understand in our district our kids have opportunities often to travel, and that travel is not always limited to when we are on scheduled breaks. So we've instituted the ALE policy, had that in place for many, many, many years, but as it's evolved, it's become a little more restrictive, and our clientele, we have several families who, through their migration to our district, have ancestors and families far away. And so we have trips to other countries, and often those trips last a very lengthy time. So we tried to clean up some of the language. We had some things that evolved that we were fixing. So we did add some language that now matches state law that students are permitted to vacation during school days, which is why we instituted ALEs before, because there was a time when you could not excuse for vacation. Now that's permitted again, so we added that that's permitted. We did add, because of the flexibility and the numerous testing windows we have throughout the year, our administrators will not approve ALEs that would permit kids to miss mandated testing. So we want to make sure that we have everybody in place for that. We did have a requirement that some of those lengthy ALEs that I talked about, we required students to be withdrawn after 20 days to kind of fit within our attendance policy. As we looked at that more and more, it wasn't the appropriate way to do that, so we removed that caveat from our ALE policy. We'll have to look at that in a different way, but for now, as we look at no ALE will be approved for longer than 10 days. We did add some language as the College Credit Plus program has evolved. It is available for students in grades 7 through 12. We want to make sure that that was communicated through our handbooks. In the elementary handbook, there was an update of the grading, the numerical grading, a little more clarity so that everybody, as we communicate and learn a little more about the elementary grading, we get some consistency across buildings, so we want to include that in the handbook. One big change at the high school level, and this has been a topic of conversation many, many times, is how we look at valedictorian. We've done some research across and many districts do it in a variety of ways. And we, at one point, had 3 different ways at which a student could arrive at being a valedictorian. As we looked at that, we cut it down to 2. And for simplicity's sake, for this honor, we're going to eliminate one of the others, and we will name at each high school the student with the highest GPA once they're complete. The high school principals talked with a lot of their students, a lot of their teachers, and they brought this recommendation to us, so we support that. And as they look at, this will become effective starting with students in the class of 2020. So students that will be moving from 8th grade to 9th grade this next school year. A couple other additions to make sure that we're complying with the ever-changing Neola policies and state laws. We added information about concussion protocols. We've adopted these policies, but we want to make sure we got them into our handbooks. Our students in phys ed classes are just as vulnerable to sustaining a concussion, so we want to make sure that we have that side covered, and so that is in our student handbook. And then there have been some updates to sexual harassment language and retaliation language, so we added information to comply with that information as well. And then the last one, our students evolve in their transportation to school. So at the elementary level, it used to be bicycles only. Scooters and hoverboards are now covered as well. So I wanted to throw that in. It's a nice thing for Heelys are still not allowed. They muck up the floors. So, yeah, the custodian's worst nightmare. So, any questions on the student handbook? Any items that we brought up or questions you might have?
I do. On the valedictorian change, could you still have multiple valedictorians?
In the event of a tie, sure, it would be if multiple students had the same GPA, it was the highest, absolutely.
And then also on the valedictorian, it would still take into consideration the 8 people, 8 in grades.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Yes.
So, just to follow up on that, so we may have more than one, are we gonna get ourselves in this
$161 charge to take credit on that?
No, because the threshold they have is above a certain level. I don't remember exactly what their number is. So they include anybody that reaches a number and higher, which is where they have theirs. Ours will be the highest for ETOS. And yes, please.
In regards to the John Peterson Scholarship and the student
Yes.
handbook, so are students that are on that scholarship required to still sign the student handbook?
Or they're designated. It is a mandated that we have all students sign. So we want to include that information just to clarify that it's available for our students as well. Any others on the student handbook? All right, then quickly jumping to the athletic handbook and the summary highlights there. A lot of definition changes. Again, as more things come into our world of alcohol and tobacco and drugs, we try to keep up with our definitions. So we changed the definitions. One of the things that came up was a high school career, and at one point the old handbook said through graduation. Well, with our earlier graduation, our athletes are still participating for up to 2 weeks after they graduate. So we wanted to redefine high school careers until they're completed participation in their final sport, and that includes the sport. We included some definition about tobacco to include vapor pens and liquid nicotine, and cleaned up our definition about transmission, substances being given amongst students. Some other definitions were in the area of possession and use, our drug testing protocol, our urine samples. We wanted to clean up some definitions there. And others were keeping up with changes in OHSAA. The age requirement has evolved to where a student athlete is eligible up until they turn 20 now. It used to be 19, they advanced that, so we wanted to just update there. And just as we did in the student handbook, we wanted to update the concussion protocols, and we want to make sure we updated the sexual harassment and retaliation protocols. So those are matched in both of those. Any questions on athletic changes? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And board policy, second reading, Mr. Debbie.
Good evening. Mr. Rafe will be presenting Exhibit D for you tonight for your approval. Second reading of 25 policies that have been reviewed by the policy committee. Are there any questions that you'd like to discuss? Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Kern, this is your
Yes.
5-year forecast. First,
This will take a little bit longer than that. Well, thank you for letting me present this evening. Just a reminder of point of procedure. This is the first reading of the forecast. On your approval for the May 19th meeting will be for approval of the 5-year forecast. As you know, we're required twice a year. By state law, to file that with ODB. It's the second time we have to do it by May 31st, so that gives us plenty of time to do that. While we don't plan on making any changes, if anything comes in the meantime, between now and then, this time we will let the board know in time and talk about it maybe next week, so we'll have a discussion if there are any changes. Like was mentioned, we did have our Finance and Audit Committee meeting last night. Typically, we try, like I mentioned before, we typically try to have a week before schedules to work out with everybody. Really, last night we had some great discussion on the forecast. They had no major changes and stuff, just some simple wording changes that we may make going forward. And like I said, I'll mention those too if we go ahead and decide to make those changes. But nothing material in that case. So, with that being said, we'll jump right into typically what we've done. Maybe since you're new to the board here, we try to go back and kind of compare what October is, anything new that's happened in the meantime, and then going forward. So it's kind of a good presentation days.
There should be something big.
What's that?
There's a big thing that's big.
Yes, you are correct. So you beat me right into my thing here. We This forecast did take into effect our passage of the March 15th ballot issue. We're thankful for our community and their support in the district. So on the revenue side, that has been factored in the new 5.9 operating millage, and also any expenses related to the opening of the new high school, which is slated for the fall of 2018. Most of those, when you're looking at fall of 18, that's actually fiscal year 2019. As you know, we're fiscal year runs from July 1 to June 30. So, that being said, here's where we started last fall with our cash balances. As you can see, we started to dip in to the negatives in fiscal year 19, and that increases there in fiscal year 20. You'll see all green as we go forward at the end there. So, just kind of where we're at. Some changes from October of 2015 on the revenue side. Revenue increased about 4.7 million since then, about 2.61%. Predominantly, about 2.4 million of that was related to real estate and public utility, personal property, new construction, and collections were greater than expected. So we typically, for example, on collections, we will get some delinquencies out there, but our delinquencies are very low. We estimate collections at about 97.23%, around there, 7.3%. Collections came in around 99%. So 1% is a little over $1 million in collections. So that is a good thing in collections. It's something to watch as we go forward. We've been, since the upturn, since our the Great Recession, we've been hovering around 98, 97%. So that is a very positive sign. Positive sign even before that. We really did dip down to about 96, 95% even during the Great Recession. So we've been very fortunate. Not other districts have always so fortunate in that area. New construction was about 0.5% overall greater than we had expected. 0.5% is about 500,000, so that's a very good thing. On public utility or the PUP, we had about 22% increase. AEP put in a lot of infrastructure that probably to service all the new construction we have on the home side of things, which is a very good thing, because on the PUP side, there's no vote, there's no millage reduction on that. It is taxed at the full effective rate, so that is a good thing when we get increases there. That was about 600,000 just in public utility personal property, and that's it's only about $6 million, so that's about 10% more than expected. So we'll continue to monitor that. That's just first half collections still. A lot of that we'll continue to monitor as we go into the second half collections, which we'll update that in October. So another big one, unrestricted grants and aid, which is essentially our state funding. The biggest thing there is the autism and John Peterson scholarship reductions, which some like the community schools, for example, is an actual expense that we have to book. Those are just a straight net reduction from our revenue. That was actually about 800,000 less than we had projected. What we had done, the limit that is available for parents to utilize went from 20 to 28,000. So we assumed as we were in the fall, because they didn't have actual real numbers in the fall, they just used estimates based off of last year. We just did a straight 40%, assuming we have about the same participation. Happened, which is a positive thing, is we actually had 11 less students take advantage of those deductions, but also the amount that was actually charged back or deducted from us was about a similar amount as we had in the prior year, even though the availability went up to 28,000. The average charge reduction is around 17,000 per student. So we had, that is a very positive thing. So it's about 800,000 gain there per se, just because, just the way things like that, so that's a good thing. And then the effect of the 5.9 mil operating levy will begin collections next January of 2017. So you'll see a half a year's collections in fiscal year 2017, and then starting with 18 will be a full year's collections on throughout this forecast. So I'm very thankful for our voters approving that for us. Any questions on the revenue side so far? It's always a risk assessment. Too far there. State Foundation, just to let you know, going forward, we're in the current biennium budget of 16 and 17 right now. That full effect has been incorporated in this forecast. Going out in 18, 19, and 20, we have estimated 5% increases. Like I mentioned back in October, unfortunately I was up correct last time. I said 5%, and then it being 7.5%, which is a little more, but still not where we want to be. We are now, we get the least amount per pupil of any public school district in the state of Ohio, around 534 per pupil. And I believe the statewide average is a little over 4,000 per pupil that districts receive. So we're definitely on the low end there. So Mr. Ray and myself will continue to work. This time next year, we will be really hot and heavy into the next state biennium budget. They'll probably introduce it around January, February, this time next year. And testimony probably around April, May, and as they go into approval into June. So our advocacy committee is all prepped and primed, ready to go next year.
Yep. Yeah, because I do not want to hear any complaints. If they're not speaking, then they have no right to complain.
Yeah. So we'll continue to monitor that and continue to, even kind of our approach last time, we'll talk with our legislators kind of behind the scenes a little bit and try to make sure our point gets across to those people. Of course, we'd love to have our full funding per the formula of around 45 million. But at the very least, let's go for our minimum per pupil funding that we talked about, which would add another 10 to 11 million to our revenue line. So, any questions on
Back to the property tax references, the revaluation in 18, or is it in 17 with the revenues collected?
Yes, you're correct.
17.
17 collected 18. So,
Given the real estate environment, there's still.
we should see, we should hopefully, we do have estimates in here for that. Those around 3%. We should see those around 3% what we have estimated. Now, they do come in higher. You remember that's only on the 5 inside. New construction is on the full, full millage rate. Or
We should probably look maybe not for the notes, but look at approved versus effective knowledge to see how valuations have been to actually collect a lower effective notes than what is approved.
I don't want to say what it is, because I have it prior to the 5.9.
including before the 5.9,
Yeah, I didn't
our
know.
effective millage, including our bond debt, because we do have a bond debt, they were around 52 mils.
Yeah.
Our voted effective is
79?
Yes, 79.
I think it's 79.
So
So that's a
valuation
huge,
increase has allowed you approved 79, we're collecting 50.
54, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of those older levies that were passed years ago are collecting a fraction of what they were.
We should probably continue to track that.
Even the 2000, we even saw a dip in the 2011 levy. You know, it was approved at 7.9, but we were only collecting at 7.6. You know, as taxpayers, that's such an incremental, you don't realize it, but you are paying less. We were at that time.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
House Bill 921.
yep.
We can talk about that for a long time. We won't do that.
Just a question, the Howard Fleer,
Yeah,
the advocacy, was Mr. Bernard there?
no, he was not there.
Was he invited?
He was not invited, but he follows us. And like, he wanted to attend the last meeting, but didn't come. So, I don't know, this whole month of May, they have a jam-packed session. So I give it to him on that. But I did notice that he was in a Twitter conversation with one of our advocates on yesterday. So he said he's
I
still.
did notice.
Did you
that.
notice that?
I retweeted that for the record.
Yes, so, yes, so he did admit that he is still pushing for grandfathering.
But you
I
guys.
believe his exact statement was, he's achieved it once, he's willing to go back after it again,
Yes, he hasn't
which is fair.
achieved it in the governor or the governor or presidential candidate, I don't know which one it is, vetoed it.
And as we always, this chart really hasn't changed over time, but it shows how we are locally funded with state revenues. Actually, when we talk about state foundation revenues, at 6.2% of our whole budget, while it's not a lot of our budget, it could be. If we get 45 million, it could be. So we'll continue to work for that. So hopefully that green little area will continue to grow at some point in the future. Just for your knowledge too, the property tax allocation, which is your homestead and rollback, when people talk about state revenue, that is technically state revenue because it's, while it's based off of your property tax, it's property tax relief that's given at the state level, back to it's like 12.5%. So
But that doesn't count on the new
you're correct.
levy,
Yes.
because that was changed by state law.
So anything, any new levy, for example, March 1 will not have that homestead rollback. So that's why when we're talking about the average cost, it's a little more than you may have seen in previous years. For 100,000. Anything else on revenues?
Tax, I know it was like 3.7%, so very long discussion that it went away a long time ago for us, so it was.
Yeah, TPP is the replacement. When you hear at the statewide level, the
There's a
tangible, it was called tangible personal property. That was essentially, for example, car lots and cars that were on car lot taxable underneath the personal property. Any equipment, for example, in a factory or anything that was used in that. That was led, it was like 2005-6 time when that was led. That was actually really pushed by Honda at that time because they had done a lot of investment in new infrastructure and new equipment. Wow, you had the OGM and Ford had all old stuff in there that was already depreciated value. So tangible personal property replacement, as that was phased out, districts will try to make whole at that point. And then that was started to be phased out. Olentangy was phased out in 2012. There's still quite a few districts out there that still get that. That's why there was a lot of rhetoric. Governor Casey actually might on meeting some of the tangible personal property replacement ongoing to do that, to reduce that, and then I believe that was overridden in some of the fall
It was,
sessions.
yeah, a new bill was introduced to override his veto. So they didn't override his veto, they introduced new legislation. But I think what you're asking is, there's still a line item that says TPP, and that portion of the tangible personal property that we account for in the 5-year forecast wasn't what was taken away from us.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
this is
still-
public utility personal property.
Yeah.
That's Columbia
Yeah,
Gas and
yes.
Columbia Gas and AEP, that is still.
We still get that, thankfully. But it's all in the same line, so.
Expenditures decreased, 1.1 million is where we see where I'll fall out. That's about 0.62%, so not, percentage-wise basis, not very much there. It's really in our 400s and 500s. If you look at purchase service and supplies and materials, we're just coming in under budget where we expected. One of the biggest ones is thankful probably for all of us, is in our fuel line. We actually reduced in the fall forecast our fuel line down to around about 900 and some thousand, 50 or so. And it continued to go down for our diesel prices and everything else, so we're down another 300,000 just in fuel. We'll feel a little closer, around 650,000 compared when we were potentially budgeting around a little over $1 million. Just some statistics we were looking at. Diesel prices in the fall of April of 13, April of 13 was $3.93. April of 14, $3.96. About a year ago, $2.78, or around $2.09. You always think that's going to go back up. It really hasn't, which is to our benefit. We do have about 10% increase budgeted for next year. We're just, as we can see from a year ago to now, how big that increase is. So after this next year, and after that, we have about 20% increase. Hopefully it doesn't go like that, but I think we can sort of, we'll see an increase in that. That would be nice if we sort of do that. Another one of the big things is natural gas and telephone. Those together come in about $280,000 less than we had budgeted. So that was a good thing. So, and another final thing, our Meta services, which is our data center there, and they provide other services too, was about $100,000 less. We were supposed to, they used to cap us at 8, that they do a per pupil type of charge. They used to cap us for years and years and years at 8,000 students, and we haven't had 8,000 students for a very long time. We were very thankful that we're now off that cap. So we thought, well, what we ended up estimating on was based off of 2014. So it's just when the billing came in, it's one of those things that helps us out. So, other than that, that's just kind of what's going on the expenditure side from the change from the fall from 2016.
I have a question on expenditures. There's been a lot in the news about dual enrollment. Do you know how much we're spending on dual enrollment, including books? Because I don't think a lot of people realize that, yeah, your kids are getting college credit, but the taxpayers are paying for it.
I don't remember off.
Yeah, I provided that before, so I can find that
Yeah.
number, but I don't remember off the
I
top of
mean,
my
we got
head.
to look at this year.
Oh, no, we haven't got billed for tuition, but
Yeah.
it'll be, it's over $60,000 without that. So it'll be 60 to 100, I think, this year is what and growing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and as more and more students take advantage of that, that's just an additional cost to watch out for. I mean, unlike the AP test where the parents, pay for that college credit, the taxpayers are paying for the college credit. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, I just want the taxpayers to know that's what's happening.
Yes. Expenditure risk assessments as we do. We always think all these are always on there every time. Enrollment projections. We base our growth, some of our growth in staffing, not only on new kids, but also on special education or even gifted areas. We look at those enrollment numbers too, where people identify in those areas to adjust our staffing to meet those needs of those new students, or maybe even higher needs with additional staffing for those. Union negotiations. We honor certified staffers, or OTA, or teacher staff, at 1 year rollover was approved in January for 2017. That has been factored into this forecast. While we haven't finished with our 2 classified negotiations yet, we did put estimates in there for those.
We already, have you done the process of cooperating or process of
voting for ratification of that, and bringing that back to approval of what we discussed offering to move back.
And that was just 1 year also to so 2017. So we do have estimates, 18 through 20, for cost of living increases. Right now, we have around 1% going out, and then we still have step increases on there. Insurance expenses. If you remember last year, for 2015, if you went self-insured, we had 0% increase on our premiums, which is a great thing. This year, we increased it only around 4%. So we're building up a nice reserve in our self-insurance fund. We'll look at that, of course, going forward. You can see where the claims are running, not really that much different than year before. So we have, which is always a risk with being self-insured. We do have stop loss coverage and all that, things like that. For those high claims out there, those catastrophic claims, but still, those haven't changed much over from year to year, so that's it's a good thing. But we'll continue to look at that because that is an expense driver. In talking with our broker, the local area, that people are seeing between 8 and 10% increases. Like I said, we've been fortunate the last 2 years to be less than that. That was what we factored in going in the forecast, going out through the years there. So we'll continue to look at that. That'll be one thing. And we move ahead with our union contracts is to look at those and see where it's all part of the package where we can, if we stop trying to get those expenses on the rise there, that we can get a nice mix and balance there. And then opening of high school 4. Some of that hits a little bit in 18 as we hired a principal and athletic director. That's not really a huge effect, but most of it, of the effect is in 2019 where we add additional staff. Now, a lot of the staff will be moving, existing staff and moving to the new high school, but we do have the positions out there, marketing, different other teachers like that, for example, where you have one in each building that it's just new positions that are added just because we're adding new buildings. So as those have had to factor in here, Mr. Meyer, Chief Operations Officer, we kind of leaned on him. Also with that, for that staffing, we looked back on Orange. Kind of went, and then went line by line, each kind of position by subject area, kind of go. Make sure these are added to the forecast. We actually have right now 4 less positions than we did. I squeezed in a little bit there, a little 4 less positions than we did going over. So, as that is a couple of years off.
Just 4?
Just 4 now.
We'll continue to try to squeeze in here, hopefully get a few more out of it. But there again, it's all good. We may have moments, even throughout our high schools, or even middle schools and elementaries that may necessitate us to add additional staff more than we have at this time.
You still probably wouldn't be fully staffed until
2020,
3 years, and then next one's 4th year.
Yep.
We'll have 3 grades, so you won't have to add another grade level for that second year, so that's more fully staffed. Most of the staff will be internally transferred, except for the positions.
And then we looked at, for even the other subsidies, utilities, and supplies and materials for the buildings that factor into also those years. So, just the ongoing operating supplies, the other stuff is coming out of the line, building and outfitting equipment, and some of the stuff that doesn't last, and use of materials. As we always talk about, we're people driven. The service industry, about 85% of what we do is personal services and retirement insurance benefits. Just a chart there. This is very common among every public school district in the state, anywhere between 80 and 90% people. Here's our historical enrollment trend. This is using future things from November that the board approved, just going out. This is K through 12 only. We do keep in our notes our preschool numbers also, just to show around 400 that there right now. We don't think that it'll hopefully not too much higher. That is a service currently that we do. Is a purchase service that we get from the Educational Service Center. These are preschool services. Pupil-teacher ratio. As you can see, we top out, the higher we go, the less staff we need. What has happened over time is, for example, this year, 2016, we added 5 gifted positions, and 1 for each middle school and then 1 for the high school to cover, rotate between the 3 high schools. We also have throughout this forecast here,
It's actually 6.
that's
Yeah.
5, I was on 6. You're a math teacher, right? We also have,
That's my level.
we also have intervention specialists working with our people service department. Not only certified side of the teachers, and this is just the teacher ratio, and this is all teachers. So that includes, teachers that are not in the classroom, such as guidance counselors, intervention specialists. Well, intervention specialists in the classroom a lot, but not direct core classroom teachers. So, but we have work with people services to meet the needs of our special education, but also our HIPAA students out there. So that's one of the drivers that drives that down over time. But the biggest thing you see in 19 and 20 is the opening of the high school. As Mr. O'Brien brought up, it even continues into 20 as we have that senior class. That ratio. So internally, we're kind of looking at it because it's always been a CIP.
Well, so I was gonna ask you, what do we put on the same?
We're around 16.
Yeah, but I did, when
Yes.
discussing that, now that you say gifted is in there and intervention,
Just as an
You
example,
know, you
Todd, what do
don't-
we- what's the number in elementary? We have so many, what's the number of classroom teachers?
The number of classroom teachers, around 404
What,
FTE.
how many are, 100 not,
About 140.
not classroom teachers?
yeah, and so I hate to say, get up to 16 to make it look financially better when we really need the gifted and
That's gonna be a
intervention
retreat topic we're gonna put on
Yeah.
our topic of retreat, how to better, because we wanna, I think we wanna start looking at it, we talk about key performance indicators and what those numbers should be. That's the state's number, because that's the number people question us about. They say, oh, you have 60 people per class. No. So we wanna start breaking it out by core areas, by unified arts areas,
Yeah.
and those kind of things, so we get a better understanding of what we have. We'll still have to report this as a state metric, but I think it's better if people understand how many kids are actually in front of these. And that's something we did treat class sizes
Right.
over the last few years. To move that up, we moved that number, and that stretched our last levy longer. It's something we can also talk about.
If I remember, at one point, when that ratio was about an elementary school, 650 kids. It's that leverage. And so a little bit of movement in that number can have a significant. So we do need to coalesce around what we want it to be and how we want to manage it, without giving up quality, performance, at the same time, if that's the number that gets you in trouble with efficiencies.
Absolutely. We are, contractually, we're 24-to-1 K through 5, and 25-to-1 6 through 12. If we move those, by negotiating different contracts, you can save staff because it gives us more leeway. We administratively choose to keep our K-1-2 ratio at around 22-to-1 because we believe that's the best education for our K-1-2 students. And there is research evidence that does show that after second grade, there isn't any evidence that shows class size But I think there's a tipping point in all of this.
As we were first in growth and students with disabilities, and we get the overall too, so some of those non-classroom positions are very, very important. And some of, if you look, some, on the classified side, most of those are special aids. So, just want to touch base on that. And then just kind of our run rate here, kind of talking about how we're positive this year, 18 revenues, expenditures. Expenditures start 19, so start to exceed revenues slightly, and we're more slightly than 20. That's when we got to start thinking, looking at when we come back. In the meantime, we've also reduced expenditures which is typical. A district like ours that's so reliant on local property tax owner. There's that ebb and flow. What I call here's our projected unencumbered balances. Like I mentioned, we're all positive in the green. Now through 2020, which is about approximately at this point 2 months.
That's what I was gonna ask.
That's 2 months of expenditures. So.
Pretty good for you. 5.
We'll meet our promise of 3 years at least.
Ish.
This will be important too. This is very important too as we go to rating agencies. I mentioned that last board meeting for new issuance that only issue in June. We're going to nail 12 and 13 to go for actual push for an upgrade to the highest level of AAA. That's very important at the end of, as we enter the cycle. That 1 and 2 months cash balance is one of the things they really look at. Unfortunate general fund, but we really should be looking at our debt service fund because that's what actually pays the debt that we're issuing. But it's just one of the measures they look at is our general fund balances.
Does the Delaware County upgrade help us out?
Hopefully.
In fact, the largest school system in Delaware County, Delaware County is ready to apply.
Yes.
We should get some,
I was talking to the county auditor yesterday. That's something he plugged us there. He plugged the whole county because all issues that were on in March passed. And we're talking about voter support, which would be a very positive thing, especially the percentage that we have, but also our continuance of voter support when we push for the very positive thing. One thing I mentioned here again that unfortunately holds us back is enrollment growth. We see that as just, we have capacity to be able to handle that growth. After we had a high school, yes, we feel we can. We'll continue to monitor that. But they also, and then the debt burden that we have as we have over 20 buildings here in the last 20, 25 years. So, that's where we're at. So, any questions?
I think it looks good.
It was a good meeting last night too, really good interaction.
Yes, Roger Dave got to see that last night. They were well briefed.
Okay.
Good evening. So what I passed out is an outline of the timeline, which includes some procedural requirements for the rehire of Ron Wash and the recommendation. So if you can see, first of all, Ron Wash is grass council at Liberty High School with 19 years in the district. This is a recommendation from his current principal,
Mr. Warfield. Mr. Widewash also worked under Mr. Rake and Mr. Wright at Liberty High School. The board did accept Mr. Widelwash's resignation as work Liberty. We sent out the week of March 14th the public notice, which stated the possibility or the intent to rehire retired guidance counselor with the Widewash. So tonight, the purpose of tonight is on that discussion item, and if anybody from the public wants to present, we'll talk about this recommendation. They have the right to do so tonight. You can see there lastly, our intent is to bring a recommendation at the May 19th board meeting. I did list Mr. Widelwash's what his salary would be next year versus the rehire salary, as well as extended service for 15 days. Our high school guidance counselors currently get 15 extended days to work prior to or after the school year. So you can see what that savings would be. Just to note, all rehire contracts are one-year contracts, so they're all non-renewed every year. And then obviously, if we make a recommendation to renew the following year, and you'll see on tonight's agenda, actually work non-renewally, you get 7 currently this year. Any questions?
So we have 7 currently in the district. Do we know how many of those will want to renew?
For next year,
Yeah.
all 7.
So this would be 8.
This will be
They got it for 11.
Yeah.
1,200.
It just goes to the selective nature of the,
Absolutely.
just,
You don't hire them back at the same salary that they were.
Thank you, Tom. Our last discussion on this, a presentation of High School University Medical Center training, sports performance training.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Tom Caldwell. I'd like to thank the Superintendent Wright and members of the board for an opportunity to present an overview of the sports medicine services and strength and conditioning services that we intend to provide to the Olentangy School District. My position is the Associate Executive Director of Sports Medicine and Ambulatory Services at the Johannesburg Western Medical Center. With me tonight is Dr. Chris Kading, who is the Executive Director of Ocean Sports Medicine and Head Team Physician for OC Athletic, and Mr. Van Light, who is the Associate Director of Ambulatory Services. I'm going to provide a very brief overview of the services that we intend to offer, and then Dr. Kading is going to speak to some differentiators we feel that be of value to the school district, and then Mr. Light will cover the investment in the Olentangy community from the Western Medical Center and how this relationship will fit very nicely with the strategic vision for Ohio State University and Western Medical Center. The crux of the services are athletic trainers. We'll provide 2 athletic trainers at each of the high schools, and we will provide middle school event coverage for the contact sports as well as injury checks. We'll provide team physicians at each of the high schools. So there'll be 2 physicians assigned to each high school, one a primary care sports physician and another an orthopedic surgeon. The medical concierge position will help to coordinate that middle school coverage, but will also serve a very unique position. That's a dual credential physical therapist athletic trainer that's housed right here in the Olentangy Lewis Center of Care Point that will help to coordinate all of the services that we're providing and the communication for the student athletes. We will provide the sports performance services, which we've provided for several years now, and we feel we've learned from our relationship there, and we're in a very good spot with our sports performance today. A unique part of this relationship is because we have an affiliation with D1 Sports right down the road. They're going to provide access to each of the high schools, 4.5 hours per week of indoor access to their fields, so that's a value add. We are going to provide ACL injury prevention services to your high-risk athletes, and that's a very comprehensive program that's based on
much of the research that was done at Ohio State University. And finally, we propose to provide screening for all your middle school athletes so that we get a very good early understanding of risk factors for those student athletes, and we can follow them longitudinally through their high school careers. So we think that's a tremendous opportunity for injury prevention, and also again to provide some opportunities for us to look at the most effective injury prevention strategies that we can implement. And we'd be happy to answer any questions at the end of the proposal, or at the end of the talk. That I can introduce Dr. Chris Lee.
Thanks a lot, Tom. So we're excited about partnering with Olentangy Schools, and I'm going to talk about what differentiates Ohio State sports medicine. And I think that boils down to our model. Our model is multidisciplinary, multi-mission integration. So multidisciplinary, we have 15 disciplines. We're working together, everything from PhDs to biomechanists to engineers to exercise scientists to strength conditioning specialists, pulmonologists, sports nutritionists, sports psychologists, emergency medicine docs, family medicine docs, orthopedic surgeons, all working together to pursue our threefold mission: clinical care, education, and research. Committed to all three of those. And we do this under one roof. In fact, we've had so much success with building a new roof. If you've seen on the corner of Ackerman and 315, we're building a new facility. The Jameson Crane Sports Medicine Center will be 115,000 square feet dedicated to sports medicine. It'll be one of the largest, most comprehensive, dedicated sports medicine facilities in the country. And inside this facility, we'll have these multidisciplinary teams. For example, we have a dance medicine team. We take care of ballet met and the school of dance and upstate. These specialists that focus on dancers, their expertise is available to your cheerleaders, your dance team. We have an endurance medicine team. Again, multidisciplinary, we work together, looking at the issues of swimmers, cyclists, runners. We do bike things. Your runners, we bring them in, we put them through a running gait analysis, trying to identify factors that put them at risk for injury. This expertise is available. The disordered eating team, a physician, nutritionist, psychologist, they go to meetings, they work together to treat this issue of disordered eating. Whether you're aware of it or not, you have that in your school system. And it's traditionally a female problem, but we're seeing now starting to see some male athletes. We have overhead throwing team, we have leads team, hip team. So these teams. So another example of our integration is our sports performance program. So as far as I know, the last 5-7 years, we're only the sports medicine program in Central Ohio has had this extension of performance to offer to school districts. What's unique, not only that we have the program, but we're not taking a strength conditioning guy, ours is done by Dan English. We're not taking him and throwing out and putting him in training rooms, so a guy to run faster, jump higher. He's integrated into our functional movement screen people, trying to identify athletes that are at risk for injuries, and our injury prevention people, where the high-risk athletes are put into this injury prevention program to prevent injury, and also as part of our medical clinical care team. So having all of those work together, integrating that with the strength conditioning with the medical team, this is the ideal way to care for student athletes. I've been involved in this for 25 years. And 2 years ago, we assumed the sports medicine care for Farmington athletics. And I like this quote from Chris Potts, a senior administrator. He said, "We have a true partnership, a team of professionals working together for the betterment of the students we serve." And I found that a very gratifying statement by him, and kind of validated the culture that we built in our center the last 10 years. And it segues into the fact that I want to focus on the student part of the student athlete. Like Olentangy Schools, obviously Ohio State is an institution of education. We're charged with maximizing the growth and development of our young people. This includes, also extends beyond the competitive arena of sports, right? Now, I understand we want to win. Believe me, I work with Urban Meyer. I understand we want to win. But we're also dedicated to education. So that's what we do. That's one of our core missions. So if you are looking for an education program, either for your parents, for your athletes, for your coaches, you want to hear about ACL prevention program, what's the latest? We have researchers to publish papers, to speak at national meetings on ACL, injury prevention. You want to talk on the dangers of disordered eating. You want to talk on the issues of drug testing and drug and alcohol use in athletes, and what it means at the high school level, college level, professional level. Dr. Pavlovich is our MRO. medical review officer, he's been that for over 15 years. All these people have talks that they give, that's what they are educators, that's part of what we do, that's part of our core mission. Our student athletes, so we want some exposure. I want to learn what's it like to go through a curriculum, to have a field in sports medicine, what's it like to be an athletic trainer, what about a physical therapist, what about a primary care sports medicine, what about an orthopedic surgeon? That's what we do. We train all those professions. They want some exposure to that, we should shadowing, and we'll learn what it takes to pursue those careers. Yes, we talk, we have those programs. So we do curriculum research. Wouldn't it be neat if we put together a research program where we prospectively collected the data on all of the athletes in the school system, and once a year, we could give a report, the state of the health of the Olentangy student athlete to your superintendent. We track that, look for trends. Maybe we decide there's a problem we don't like, we want to implement an intervention, and then track, is our intervention effective? That's research that, clinical outcomes research that we did, that's one of our core missions. So this is what makes us different. So we're excited about partnering with another educational institution and provide all these resources above and beyond good, excellent clinical care, which I think is unique in itself, but unique in a lot of ways. So anyway, I could talk about this for hours if I talk too much already. So I'm going to turn it over to Dan White for our executive director of management resources.
Katie, good evening, everybody. I'll be brief. I know I'm getting in the way of everybody getting home. But Olentangy Schools, we've been in this community for a number of years, and it's a very important community to us. And whether we hold this contract or don't hold this contract, our commitment to the community has always been there. We've supported the boosters events, the Education Initiatives Foundation, we're members of the Business Association, the Rotary Club. Many of our faculty and staff work and have students in the school district. In fact, interesting stats when you look at the amount of faculty and staff that live in the school district, we have over 5,000 active faculty and staff members of the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center and their children that live in the community, and over 20,000 Ohio State alumni that live in the community. So we're thrilled, clearly, to have the opportunity to provide coverage to the student athletes in the schools. That again doesn't change our commitment, it'll always be there, regardless of even in the past and in the future. Our faculty will live here, live here. So clearly this is not just Olentangy Nation, we've got some Buckeyes in Olentangy Nation too. We're thrilled to be a part of it. And you know, the other thing is I know that when decisions like this are made, they're difficult, and there's a lot of choice, and there's a lot of quality providers in this community. And Central Ohio is very fortunate to have quality healthcare providers in the community. And you know, we're very excited to have the opportunity and the trust, and we plan to exceed your expectations with a positive vote tonight. So with that, I'm going to be brief. I want to offer up any questions that you may have for any one of us this evening.
I have some questions. In your the report that was provided to us, the RFP, it states that you'll have Saturday hours, and I assume that it's at the center office over here by Grover, from August to December. Well, I know that there are a lot of injuries on Friday nights in our gym here, January to March. So what happens then if I have an athlete who's hurt January to March in a basketball or wrestling or gymnastics?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, we're looking at extended hours into the weekday, extended evening hours as well. So hopefully we can catch up even before we have to wait until the next day to address those issues. The other thing is we work with a program called Healthy Roster, which will give you when student athletes, their parents, and coaches need access to our healthcare professionals to help guide them and to give them advice and triage those injuries so we can direct them to whatever those needs might be on those off hours. Of course, they have a lot of hours on Saturday or Sundays that will be available through that Healthy Roster application as well. But we're committed to work with the school system. If we find that there's a need during a time that's not covered during what was there, we're happy to work with you to send it out.
I think the other thing is kind of outline the breadth of the expertise that we all have integrated into our program. That's why we're providing Kathy a medical concierge who's available 24/7.
Okay.
So it would be Sunday morning, you have an issue, give her a call, and she'll help you navigate, get you the right provider.
We've also had great success with doing physicals, gang physicals, I call them, because I've worked them before, where you set a day and most of the kids get through. And you said that you would work with the school district on doing physicals, but what would that look like?
Again, whatever is most convenient for the district, we're well experienced with mass physicals. We do those for not only for recent varsity sports, but out of state, but all our other community partners. We currently work with Columbus City Schools, Arlington, Columbus State, Capital University, so provide those mass physicals setting. We can do that, whatever is most convenient to each of the schools in the district.
It's not concrete therapy because we want to dictate exactly how it should be done. We'll work with the athletic directors and coaches. Convene for that.
Okay, and then the current high schools that you do now, I think is Granville and Upper Arlington.
And Columbus City Schools.
And Columbus City. Do you have enough staff to serve us?
Yes, we've identified the team positions already, and we've already gotten plenty of interest from athletic trainers that like to work in the district. As we've expressed to the committee, we're very committed to work with each of the schools, the athletic directors and the administrators, to make sure that they're a part of that selection process as well, so we ensure that we hire the right fits for your community.
And then you state that there are team positions, and I know that there were several listed here. So would one school have a specific position, or do they, just rotate around, or how does that work?
Each school would have 2 dedicated positions.
Okay,
One
so-
primary care sports and one orthopedic that's dedicated to that school.
Okay.
So that can make for some interesting Friday nights, I guess, when we in the office, but they are dedicated to each of the schools. Of course, the other thing that with the triage, and as Dr. King alluded to, we have expertise in multiple areas, so just because those positions are assigned to that team, they're going to make sure that they get that student athlete to the best position for that particular need. So, we're not going to dictate. And of course, the student athletes and their parents always have a choice of who they go to
Right.
for the provider. So we certainly honor that.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to point out, is that even though you're providing the services, they can also seek help outside of this as well. But if a student if a student and their parent would request your services, I know a lot of our surgeries that our students have had are done outpatient. Where do you do your outpatient surgeries, like knees and shoulders?
That will be at the new Jameson Crane Sports Medicine Institute.
Oh, they're gonna have a surgical center?
Yes.
Okay.
And in fact, these will be state-of-the-art rooms where we can actually do telesurgery. We'll be able to broadcast surgery to auditoriums or across the country, across the world. We've done that numerous times already. In fact, I think we first did in the year 2000, 16 years ago. We did our first telesurgery and we broadcast to the American Orthopedic Society Sports Medicine meeting in LA. And in one of the rooms, we'll have a conference room with a glass wall. Again, this is all for education. People come in without having put on scrub and run suits, and they can observe surgeries from the conference room.
Of course, with the consent.
Right, yeah.
Let the minutes show. The Jameson Crane opens for physical therapy in the clinics in October, and then the operating rooms will open in late this
So these operating rooms will be second to none.
And then at the care center here in Lewis Center, that's for physical therapy rehab services?
And physician services, imaging.
Oh, okay, imaging, okay.
Every one of those physicians will have time at the Lewis Center for the conveniences. We obviously make sure that we focus the key physicians in this area, so it's accessible, easily accessible to student athletes and their parents.
We've done for Columbus City Schools, for some of their educational programs, summer science camp for some of their students. And we bring them to the auditorium and have one of the nurses talk to them, where, again, with the consent of the patient, we talk them through a video reconstruction center. We've been doing that for 7 years or so. So a great experience and exposure for the students. See that.
research studies. Any student that would be subject to or participant in a research study would have to consent to be in there.
Absolutely.
We are aware of all the rules and regulations of classes. Again, that's what we do. We probably have currently between 50 and 100 active IRBs issued for rules and research. Active.
Middle school screenings, what are you screening for? Just
So that FMS.
They call it FMS, stands for functional musculoskeletal screen. So they provide you feedback on core strength, flexibility, and balance of your student athletes. And we look for, in fact, a lot of those original studies were done in NFL athletes and military. But we've started working with younger athletes to identify what's a good score. You get a total score from the FMS screen, and there's a threshold that we establish. So we fall below that threshold, we'll know that they may benefit from some intervention. The earlier we can get started with that intervention, the better off we'll be for both injury prevention and performance.
I have a contractual question that maybe Mr. Reed knows. So this is a 3-year agreement, is that correct?
Yes.
So in that contractual agreement is, with respect to your bid, I mean, it's a zero-sum bid, right? So is there, with these quarterly reviews, is there a point in which the district has an opportunity to, if service is not what is meant or expected, is there an escape at the end of the year or at 2-year? If that happens, I mean, I don't have huge concerns about it. I think the bid is self-explanatory. The only issue I have is a zero-sum bid, because there's nothing in the game. So is there an opt-out at all, or what do you do with that evaluation process? It's more a generic question. I don't know if there's another set of T's and C's that come with the agreement or anything
We have to talk, you want to?
like that. I mean, you can address
Until it was approved, we don't have a contract yet, so we can.
Understood, so that's what I guess I need to.
Yes, we can write into the contract, and certainly termination for cause is part of all our contracts, so.
I would assume that you would have that, but you offer, I think, on page 8, the idea that you're going to be doing quarterly reviews. Page 7, so I'm assuming that with that, you'll do some mitigation of any issues that have come up. But at the same time, that's my biggest question contractually. So when that happens.
I think that, I guess, in terms of what, maybe you want to explain your decision to come in zero sum.
Well, we think this, as we've stated, we think this is a tremendous opportunity for us. We're committed to the district. We look at this more than just a, financial return on investment. We look at these other two parts of our mission. And we feel that this is a great opportunity, a great fit for Olentangy schools. And we felt strategically, this is a community we're invested in. We have a care point location here. And as Dan mentioned, we're here for the long haul. So.
Zach, I do know they did on the Dublin bid also, and it was significantly higher than the bid they gave us. So, from a strategic standpoint, this is where they want to be, which means something.
No, go ahead. Okay, no.
what is a mentorship? So we have a mentorship program here for our high school students. Would what I'm reading here, would our students that are interested in maybe doing some therapists or athletic trainers be able to participate within our program, do cooperation with you?
Sure. We have some of the programs now, and those are the things that we're most excited about. So we can offer the education opportunity, anything from shadowing to formal curriculum. Again, this would be something that the school district or university would have to work on, but we're even thinking in terms of college credits, formal, some didactic coursework that if students are interested in improving sports medicine, we can certainly help develop that.
Education we do every day, we interact with trainers. Where do you think your therapists, your athletic trainers, your physicians train? They train us. We train. Yeah, so we're teaching kids, young people, their careers, we do it all the time. So that's part of our mind and what we do. We've done clinically, we've done on the educational side, we've done research side. So pretty much the same. So yeah, that's education.
Well, my last question is just, So Ohio Health is here, obviously, they've been working in the schools so far, and we have teeny tiny small training rooms and sometimes not enough space. We work at the schools, the districts work with the athletic directors to expand the space. I guess it's more of a statement, is so we have a 4th high school coming, and we have 3 high schools that already have equipment. I guess safety is important to me, and what do we have? Do we have the equipment that is correct? I think Ohio Health has done a good job working with our booster clubs to get the right equipment in. But I guess one of the things I'm going to ask is, depending on the outcome of tonight, is that if it does go forward for you, I'm going to ask or hope you will do an assessment of equipment and what we have, and help us, because we put Bruce Runyon, our architect, I put him through his paces on, is the new space at number 4 enough? And are we going to have enough to be able to treat the number of athletes? Because as the Ohio Health people can attest to, is sometimes we have kids lying in the hallways and City Hall is going to treat. That's on us to fix, but I guess it's more of a statement, it's an assessment of what we have and making sure that the district administration understands, do we have the right stuff, do we have enough of it, and is it enough to make sure that our kids are being treated well?
We have an excellent team that helps us.
It's nothing against Ohio Health. They've done a great job and worked with what we have. But I just want to make sure if this is what we decide to do, that we're in a position to assess that. And we'll have, I'm sure we always have a wish list here, right, Mr. Ray?
Yes, sir.
Ohio Health and Carmel and Children's, they all have the capability of doing that, as does, Ohio State. We did a lot of research, national research, building the Jameson Crane Sports Medicine Institute, and looking at the amount of space, the quality of the space, the equipment, the flow of the space. And so a lot of that research that was done and investigation is fresh because of the Jameson Crane facility that have to be.
About 60% of the kids that attend our high schools are typically in athletics at some point. So it is a vital part of what we do.
Well, they also stated in here, to do clinics or seminars,
Yes.
whatever, our other departments, like our keynotes, we call them keynotes here at Olentangy, our show choir, our theater students who are dancing and things like that. But the one thing that I noticed in their offerings is that there are a lot of extras on here, like the time at the D1 field access. But I'm going to challenge that's great if we use it. All of these things are great, like community forums are great if we take advantage of them. So we have to make sure that we do take advantage of what they're offering as well, because that's what makes this contract stand out.
I would think the lead person for this contract is going to have to do a good job of reminding our athletic directors and administration that exists.
Do the knee training, the ACL training. Right? Take advantage of D1 field access on the off season, of your field sports.
Guaranteed, and football coaches will probably have that amount of time.
Yeah.
They have an option.
If not, it's,
Crummy day.
wasted it. But I do want to say I've been a huge user of Ohio Health and have been very pleased with the services that, that my family, and that includes my daughter and my nieces and nephews, and then the teams that I've been involved with. And so I just want to say this is not a reflection of anything that I've had with Ohio Health at all. And a lot of times as a school board member, you have to make decisions that's best for the whole and not for the individual. And so, Bill's been my right-hand man sometimes when we're, having shoulders operated on and knees done. And so I don't want Ohio Health to think that this is a reflection on poor service, because from my standpoint, that's not the case at all. As a board member, I have to take a look at the entirety of the district. The other thing that came up, this contract costs the district nothing. Some people say, well, you get nothing if you're paying nothing. But then I thought about this and I thought, well, is on the line. So if something goes south, that's, your reputation. And I know as the nation's largest university, you don't want to have that. And I also want to point out that someone had brought up to me, well, there's got to be alums behind this decision. The people sitting at this table, none of us graduated from your university.
Federal.
So, yeah, so. Yeah, look in my closet, it's blue and gold, and, you know, and that's gold as in a dome, not as in vase. And so I don't want people to think that there's, you know, alternative motives here either, because that certainly isn't the case. But I think that for my decision, it's got to be a district of a whole.
Anything else? Comments, questions? Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you.
Before we get into our action items, do we have any public participation or action items?
Yes, we have two this evening. I'd like to remind people, first of all, state your name and address, but also, per board policy, try to limit your responses to 5 minutes, please, each. Thank you.
Philip Frank, head athletic trainer, Olentangy High School. That address is 4095 80 Lost Place, Dublin, Ohio. On behalf of my fellow Ohio Health athletic trainers, I would like to take this moment and thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Rafe, and the rest of the administration for the honor and the privilege of being able to serve as an athletic trainer at Olentangy High School for the past 8 years. Their decision to entrust Ohio Health Sports Medicine with the district's first relationship with an outreach sports medicine provider enabled Olentangy local schools to have one of the best district-wide sports medicine teams in the state. For my first day back in August of 2008, I had bled blue, Ohio Health blue. That blue quickly became mixed with gold as the support and appreciation from the Olentangy community overwhelmed me. I not only worked for Ohio Health, but I was accepted as a part of the community. This culminated last month when I experienced the highlight of my professional career, when I was selected as an Olentangy High School staff member of the month. This blew me away. For the school to recognize me, a contracted service provider, as a staff member, was extremely moving. It was the values that Ohio Health instills in its associates that allowed me to create such a connection with the school. Those values are compassion, excellence, stewardship, and integrity. It is with a sad and heavy heart that I stand here today knowing that this relationship between Olentangy local schools and Ohio Health may come to an end. I will look back at these 8 years with fond memories to know that I lived Ohio Health's mission day in and day out. That mission to improve the health of those that we serve. Thank you.
And just for a general comment, being involved since 2002, Bill has been the best athletic trainer I've ever been associated with. I appreciate the time and the commitment to the school.
Jason.
Thank you, Jason Wilshire, 10225 Concord Road, Dublin, Ohio. You maybe know me, but with mixed emotions, I kind of present this. And so I started my tenure, I'm going to kind of read off the script just so I can keep it together here. So I started my tenure with the Olentangy School District by serving as the first athletic trainer for Orange High School and having the privilege to take care of such great athletes, student athletes. I have since continued my role with Ohio Health as a sports medicine manager to oversee the Ohio Health Olentangy athletic training relationship. On behalf of Ohio Health, we want to take a moment to say how proud and honored we are to serve the district for the last 8 years. We've felt the relationships we have developed, the opportunities to take great care of athletes at all levels. Their parents, their families, coaches, fans, administration has been nothing but first class. We're saddened to hear the district's decision to move in a different direction and engage the services of another provider. We hope that they will continue kind of what we started by delivering the same quality of care, the trusted relationships, the same time and dedication we put into the Olentangy district. We wish them luck. Our loyalty, services provided, contributions have been established and have become a model that is reproduced in all of our partner schools. Olentangy is one of the first multi-high school districts to partner with Ohio Health, and they have helped us build a trusted system in Central Ohio. The athletic trainers, obviously some are here, some who are working right now. One who had to leave, who could not stand the emotion to continue here. She was here and had to leave. Our team physicians, and they've dedicated their heart and soul to make themselves part of this district, including myself. We have become part of the fabric of the schools and been accepted as staff members in the community. We are upset to see such qualified, consistent, and personable team lead this great system. So thank you for your trust in Ohio Health. Thank you for the relationships we have developed and the privilege to serve the community. Please let us know what we can do to continue moving this district forward, and we welcome the invitation to be considered in any future endeavors. So if there's any questions I can answer or clarify any details, please let me know.
And any others?
No, there is none.
So, Brian, if you would please provide the treasurer action items for action.
Yes, I'd like to present to the board this evening treasurer action items A through C, approve financials from March of 2016, B, approve amended FY16 appropriations at the fund level, and C, approve donations to the district.
Motion, please. Motion. Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No, call the roll.
Mr. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Feasel?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes, treasurer action items passed 5-0. And Mr. Lee, if you would please on superintendent action.
I'd like to present superintendent action items A through A.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to reiterate on the Ohio State contract, that again, my vote is not a reflection of any services that I received from Ohio Health. It's a reflection of a decision that's what's best for the school district at this time. And I appreciate the service of the Ohio Health staff. And Ohio State, you have a lot to live up to.
The only thing I'd add is someone who's in the public procurement business every day. This is part of that process, part of that business that we've all chosen to be in. You put a bid in, and you put your best bid forward, and we've got a responsibility, to Julie's point, of moving forward with the best bid that meets that needs in the most comprehensive way. With that, I feel comfortable moving forward.
Any other comments? And call the roll.
Mrs. Feasel?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes, and superintendent action items passed 5-0. And we have everything, so we have a motion to adjourn. So, in a second, any discussion there? Please call the roll.
Mr. Bartz?
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick?
Yes.
Mrs. Feasel?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes. Thank you for attendance this evening. We are adjourned.